Appendix. Pigeons paradised. Pick, singe, and wash 6 pigeons. Cut up their backs and take out the bones. Then cut the livers small with 1/4 pound of beef suet, pounding them well in a mortar. Steep the crumb of a halfpenny roll in cream and beat with it. Add to it the yolks of 4 eggs boiled hard, and season it with mace, nutmeg, pepper, and salt. Add green thyme, sweet marjoram, and parsley. Break 2 eggs and mix it well together. Then divide it equally amongst the pigeons, after you have dried them well with a clean, coarse cloth. Put the stuffing equally within them, and put them in the form they were before you boned them. Lay them in a flat-bottomed earthen dish, and rub the breast of each pigeon with butter, throwing over all some grated bread and green parsley. Then rub some butter on white paper and lay over them, and set them an hour in an oven. Then take 1/4 pound of rice, boil and drain it dry in a hair sieve. Color 1/2 of it green with the juice of sorrel, and the other half let be white. And lay it round the dish rim in various forms, and have 1/2 asparagus boiled, and cut the green tops, and stew in good gravy thickened with butter and flour. Pour it on the dish, lay on the pigeons with sippets and green parsley, and serve it up. Pigeons in blankets. Pick and wash your pigeons clean and dry them. For 3 pigeons, take the yolks of 6 hard-boiled eggs cut small. Add green thyme, sweet marjoram, and parsley shred fine, and take the bulk of a hen's egg of butter, and work up all the ingredients, which divide equally amongst and put into the pigeons. Then roll out 3 sheets of cold paste. Into each sheet roll a pigeon, and tie it tight in a cloth. Boil them an hour and a half, then take off the cloths, and lay them in a dish, for sauce, gravy, and butter. A savory pigeon pie. Make a raised crust, that is, a standing crust. For 4 pigeons, make 3 corners and 1 in the middle, and when it is cold, take some savory forcemeat and draw all over the inside. Bone the pigeons and rub them on the inside with yolk of egg, and lay on some of the forcemeat. Put them as for baking, and let their breast be uppermost. Then put on the lid, and let them stand 2 hours in a moderate oven. Then have a gill of gravy and butter, and pour into it. Another pigeon pie. Take 6 pigeons, pick and wash them clean. Cut off their feet and pinions. Take 1/2 pound of butter, and work up in it as much pepper and salt as you think reasonable to season them. Then make a sheet of cold paste, and lay a rim round the edge of the dish, and lay in your pigeons. After you have put an equal quantity of butter and seasoning within each, put the gizzards, livers, and pinions into the dish. Add a pint of water, and lay a sheet of paste over all. Bake it an hour and a half in a moderate oven. When it is drawn, put 1/2 gill of good gravy into it. A white fricassee of eggs. Boil 6 eggs hard, and take out their yolks. Cut the whites very small. Take a clean frying pan and heat some butter hot, but take care not to brown it. Then drop in 6 eggs and fry them white. Lay them on a clean tin pan and set them before the fire. Rub your frying pan clean and put more butter into it, and fry as many more eggs in the above manner, and lay them into the same pan. Then take a knife and cut off all the rags. When you have trimmed them, take half a wine pint of sweet cream and 1/4 pound sweet butter, wrought in flour. Put your fried eggs into a hash pan. Add to them the cream and butter, with a little powdered mace, grated nutmeg, and salt. Then toss it up, and when it boils, take it off the fire, and squeeze in the juice of a lemon. Toss it up, and lay the whites round the dish. Cut some parsley, then pour in the fricassee. Lay the hard yolks over it, and serve it up. A brown fricassee of eggs. Take 6 eggs, break and separate the yolks from the whites. Tie the yolks in a linen rag and boil them hard. Cut them small and grate the crumb of a half-penny roll and mix with the shred yolks. Add nutmeg, pepper, salt, thyme, and sweet marjoram cut small, and rub the bulk of a nutmeg of butter into the mixture. Take a raw egg and work it up, dusting a little flour over it. Roll it into small balls, and rub a plate with butter. Then set them to brown before the fire or in an oven. Beat the whites with a spoonful of cream. Add nutmeg, salt, and parsley cut very small. Then take a very small bladder and pour in the whites, leaving a little for them to rise in boiling. Then take a thick slice of sweet butter in a frying pan over a sharp stove or clear fire. Brown the butter and drop 6 eggs. Fry them brown on both sides. Then pour out the eggs and butter into a clean hash pan, and fry 6 more eggs in the above manner, and put them to the other eggs. Then half a gill of water, of walnut pickle, catsup, and mushrooms, each a spoonful. Thicken it with butter and flour. A palatine of eggs. Beat 12 eggs and take out the crumb of a penny loaf, add to it a gill of Rhenish wine, and mix it well with the eggs. Boil 6 artichokes, take the bottoms and cut small, and mix with the eggs. Season them with mace, nutmeg, and salt, and mix them all well together. Grease a round basin that will just hold them, and pour them into it. Lay 3 thin slices of butter over all, and set it an hour in a slow oven. Then take 1/2 fresh oysters and wash them clean in water. Lay them on a clean board and season them with black pepper and salt, and drudge some flour over them. Then take 1/4 pound of butter in a clean frying pan over a clear stove or brisk fire. Let the butter be brown when you put in the oysters, and turn them. Then add to them half a gill of water, a spoonful of catsup, and thicken it with flour and butter. Then turn the eggs out of the basin on the middle of the dish. Pour over it the ragout. Garnish with barberry berries and parsley, and send it up. Eggs à la mode. Take 10 eggs and beat them well. Soak the crumb of a penny loaf in cream and beat with them. Boil 100 of asparagus, cut the green ends small, and mix with the above. Add nutmeg, pepper, and salt. When you have mixed them well, butter a tin pan and lay a thin sheet of puff paste in it. Pour on your eggs, and throw over some grated bread and melted butter. Set it in an oven. Then take a quart of water, slice a carrot, and put to it a bundle of sweet herbs, horseradish, and shallots. Let it boil to half a pint. Then strain it in a clean pan. Add to it 2 spoonfuls of catsup, and take a slice of butter in a frying pan. Brown it over a clear fire. Toss up the sauce in the frying pan, and so put it in the saucepan. Thicken it with butter and flour, and have some forcemeat balls as before directed. Then take out your eggs and cut them into dices, leaving a large one for the middle. Then dish it up. Pour over the sauce, strew over the forcemeat balls and some pickled mushrooms. Garnish with green parsley. Another way to à la mode eggs. Break 16 eggs and take out all the yolks with a spoon. Lay them upon a plate, and take great care not to break any. Then beat the whites very well, and boil 1/4 pound of rice in water till it is tender. Then mix the rice and whites together. Season it with nutmeg and salt. Grease a cloth with butter and pour this into the cloth, then boil it an hour. In the meantime, take a clean frying pan and a thick slice of butter over a quick fire. Make the butter brown. Then put in the yolks and fry them whole, turning each separate very carefully. Then add to them a gill of water, 2 spoonfuls of catsup, 1 of walnut pickle, and toss it up. Pour it on the dish and throw the balls over it. Take the whites out of the cloth and cut and cut into thin slices, and lay round them. Garnish the dish with fried parsley. To ragout eggs. Beat 10 eggs and take the crumb of a penny French roll soaked in cream and mix it well with the eggs. Add green thyme, sweet marjoram, and parsley cut small, nutmeg, mace, pepper, and salt. Boil this in a calf's bladder. Take a pint of fresh mushroom buttons and fry them brown in butter. Add to them a pint of fresh water and boil 100 asparagus. Cut off the tender part of the tops into 1/2-inch lengths and stew amongst the mushrooms. Add walnut pickle and verjuice of each a spoonful. Let it boil till the liquor is half consumed. Then thicken it with 1/2 gill of plain butter sauce, and take the great egg out of the bladder. Cut it down the middle, and lay the 1/2 in the middle of the dish. Cut the other half in 2, and lay on each side. Pour the ragout all over them. Garnish with sippets, barberry berries, and capers. Plum pottage. Take 2 hocks of a bullock. Break and put them into a pot and fill it with water, and when it boils skim it well. Add thyme and sweet marjoram, cloves, nutmeg, pepper, and salt. So let it boil, close covered, till it is a strong soup. Then take up the hocks, whose sinews will be as tender as marrow. Strain the soup into an earthen pot and let it stand to cool. Then take off all the fat and put the soup into a large hash pan. Grate the crumb of a 2-penny loaf and add to it. Sweeten it with sugar to your taste. Then take 2 pounds of the best raisins, a pound of prunes, and a pound of currants. Boil them in the soup a 1/4 of an hour, and so send it up. To make pork sausages. Take a hind chin of pork, skin it and shred it very fine, as above directed. Season it with pepper, salt, and dried sage. Mix it well, and when it is beat fine, fill your skins, and they will keep as long as beef. Season it with pepper, salt, and dried sage. Mix it well, and when it is beat fine, fill your skins, and they will keep as long as beef sausages. But all sausages are to be put into the smallest skins. Sheep's guts are fittest for them. But if you cannot get sheepskins, the smallest of the beef or hog skins, which must not be filled above half full. To make sausages without guts. Take a pound of lean mutton and a 1/4 of a pound of beef suet shred very small, and beat it in a mortar to a fine paste. Season it with Jamaica and black pepper, nutmeg, salt, thyme, sweet marjoram, and parsley. Then drudge flour on the table and roll the sausage with your hands into rolls the thickness of sausages, and make them into various shapes, as O, S, C, X, or in any other shape as your fancy directs. And when you have turkey pouts or chickens roasted or boiled, lay these sausages on a tin pan and set them in a quick oven, or before the fire, and broil them, and lay round and over the fowl or fowls, with gravy on the dish. To stew pigeons. Pluck and singe the pigeons clean, and wash them. Stuff their crops with forcemeat. Cut off their legs and turn up their thighs. Put under the wings as for baking. Then put them into a stewpan and cover them with water. Set them on a slow stove close covered, and let them stew till they are tender, turning and skimming them often. When their liquor is almost consumed, add to it a pint of veal gravy, forcemeat balls, and catsup. Let them stew till there is but what is sufficient for sauce. Then add to it a spoonful of pickled mushrooms, a spoonful of walnut pickle, a little butter, and toss all together. Lay rashers of bacon all over them on the dish. Garnish with lemon and green parsley. A sham pig. Boil and peel as many potatoes as will be the bulk of a little pig, which you must take while they are hot, and beat a 1/4 of a pound of butter in them. Break 6 eggs, leaving out the whites of 4, very well, and mix with the potatoes. Add to them sugar, nutmeg, and salt to your taste. Let them stand to cool, and then make it up in the form of a roasted pig. Make a skin to cover it of paste as for standing pie. Let it have head, ears, and mouth in the form of a roasted pig. Let it be set in an oven and baked brown. Then take a little clarified butter and a few clean feathers. Dip their ends in the butter and whisk all the pig with it, just as it is taken out of the oven. This will make the paste shine as a natural pig's skin. For sauce, have melted butter, sugar, and red wine. Then serve it up. A sham turkey. Take half a pound of butter and a gill of sweet cream. Boil it till the butter is melted. Then take 2 pounds of flour, add a grated nutmeg, a little sugar and salt, and pour your cream and boiled butter into the flour, and make it into a paste. Pick and wash clean half a pound of currants. Stone and cut small 1/4 pound of raisins. Cut an ounce of orange peel very small, and work all into this paste, making it up in the form of a boiled turkey. Take a sheet of puff paste and lay over the breast, wings, and thighs, as the natural shape of a turkey. Set it on a flat-bottomed dish, and bake it in a slow oven an hour. Make some balls of puff paste and bake them. Lay boiled rice round the dish, and for sauce, plain melted butter, sweetened with sugar, and 2 spoonfuls of Rhenish. Set this turkey on the dish, pour the sauce round, and the balls, so serve it up. Nota bene, if the reader is a good mechanic, may with the above sham any sort of wild or tame fowl, and it may perhaps be a great disappointment to gourmandizers, and a very agreeable one to others. To make sausages of beef. Take 2 pounds of the inside of a sirloin of beef, and half a pound of beef suet cut very small on a shredding board. Add Jamaica and black pepper, salt, sweet marjoram, and thyme. Beat this well in a marble mortar, with half a gill of red wine or old beer. Then fill the guts, and hang them in the kitchen. When they are to be used, broil them on the cranks, with 2 spoonfuls of water in a plate or tin pan under them, to intermix with their gravy. To make sausages of mutton. Take a loin of fat mutton, skin it, and take out all the sinews. Shred the fat and lean very small on a shredding board. Add half a gill of water to it, and season with Jamaica and black pepper. The small skins to be filled for present use, and broil them as above directed. To make puff paste. Mix the flour with cold water and weigh the paste. To every pound of paste, put half a pound of butter. Roll out the paste and divide the butter into 3 parts, laying 1 part on each sheet, throwing flour on every time, and roll it 3 times after all the butter is laid on. If it is frosty, mix the flour with water milk warm. Postscript. Be sure to roll the paste till all the butter is well mixed, or it will run out in the baking. This paste is for puddings, pasties, dish pies, Florentines, or minced pies. Paste for standing crusts. To 7 pounds of flour, take 3 pounds of butter and 3 pints of water. Boil the butter and water till it is melted. Then skim off the butter and mix it with flour. Likewise the remaining flour with water, and the paste all together with your hands. When it is well mixed, cut the paste into little pieces and lay on the table to cool. Then work them all together, and raise it into a pie or pies. Another paste for standing crusts. Take some beef or sheep suet, which cut small, and put into a brass pan. Set it on a clear fire at a good distance. If it stands over hot, it's in danger of burning the fat. And when it is discharged, take it off the fire, and drain all the fat into a sieve, letting it run into a clean, broad earthen pot. When it is cold, to a pound of this fat, take a pint of milk, a little salt, and boil and mix it with the flour as above. This makes a much better crust in winter, when butter is strong, than butter does. There are few critics can discover the taste of the fat, for the milk diverts it, and likewise hinders the paste from cracking. Lent minced pies. Take a pound of apple pulp, half a pound of lemon peel cut small, half a pound of hard-boiled yolks of eggs chopped small, and a pound of currants clean picked and washed, half a pound of raisins stoned and cut small, with half a pound of sugar. Mix all together, and bake it with puff paste in pans, or in standing crusts. Another way for fast minced pies. Take a pound of boiled potatoes, beat into it a pound of sweet butter, with a pound of apple pulp. Also mace, cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg pounded, half a pound of sugar, a pound and a half of currants, a pound of raisins stoned and cut small, and half a gill of sack. Mix them well together, and bake it as above. Another sort of minced pies. Take a pound of calf's feet shred very small, with 2 pounds of beef suet, but all the skin must be taken from it. Add 2 pounds of currants clean picked and washed, a pound of prunes scalded, stoned and cut small, half a pound of apple pulp, a pound of almonds blanched and beat to a paste, half a pound of lemon peel cut small, half a pound of moist sugar, of red wine and sack each half a gill. Season to your taste with an equal quantity of cinnamon, mace, nutmeg, and cloves. Mix all well together, and bake as you need the pies. Another way to make minced pies. Take a pound of the fattest of beef, and 2 pounds of the kidney suet. Shred them together till both are so small as you cannot perceive the least bit of the beef, only it gives a carnation color to the suet. Then add 2 pounds of well-picked currants, a pound of stoned raisins, and half a pound of prunes, scalded, stoned, and cut small with the raisins. Season with the above-named seasonings. Also the wine, sack, and the above quantity of sugar, with 4 ounces of lemon, and 3 ounces of citron peel, cut small, and to be all well mixed together. A trennel pie. Take a trennel of a good fat calf. Open and wash it in many waters very clean. Let it lie all night in salt, and boil it till it's tender. Then shred it as small as minced pie meat, and season it with Jamaica pepper and salt. Take prunes, raisins, currants, and sugar, of each half a pound. Pick the currants, stone the raisins and prunes, cut and mix them all together. They that will be thrifty may skim the trennel well in time of boiling, and it will discharge as much fat as will make a standing crust for it, instead of butter, and if cleanly done, it will be as sweet as butter. How to dry plums. Take large white Magnum Bonum plums, and to every pound of plums take 2 pounds of sugar, and to every pound of sugar add a pint of hard water, and boil it 10 minutes. Rub every plum with a clean cloth, and put them into an earthen flat-bottomed mug. Pour over them the boiling syrup, and cover it with paper close. Let them stand 24 hours. Then take the syrup from them, and boil it a quarter of an hour, in which time take the skin off the plums, and set each plum upon its end with the stalk uppermost. And when the syrup hath boiled the above time, pour it upon the plums, and so repeat it 6 times in the above manner. Then let them stand a week without boiling the syrup, and then boil it till it is ropy. Pour it on the plums, let them stand 3 weeks, then boil the syrup again, and let them stand a month, in which time they will have a soft candy. Then take them out of the pot, and lay them on an earthen dish, and sift a little double refined sugar over them. Let them dry in the sun or before a fire, and so keep them for use. How to make wormwood drops. Beat the whites of 2 new laid eggs on a pewter plate with the back of a cafe knife, till the froth is so stiff that you may cut it into parcels. Then beat and sift through a Tiffany sieve a pound of double refined sugar, which beat with the eggs. Add a spoonful of orange flower water, and beat it to the stiffness of light paste. Then drop on it 3 drops of the oil of wormwood, and mix it well. Lay a little of this on a square pane of glass, or a Holland glazed brick. Powder a pennyworth of cochineal, and mix with the bulk of an egg of this beat-up mixture, and marble the other with the red color. But you must mix it so as to make the white and red transparent. Drop them upon glazed paper, that is, white paper glazed with a sleek stone. Let not each be above the size of a filbert, and set them in the sun or before a fire to dry. Put them on a clean paper into a paper box, and keep them for use. To make lemon drops. Pare the yellow skin of a fresh lemon, cut it small, and put it into a quarter of a gill of the best brandy. Let it stand 12 hours. Then take the whites of 2 new laid eggs, and mix with the same quantity of double refined sugar. Beat and sift it in the above manner. When it is done, beat into it a spoonful of the brandy that the lemon skin lay in. Mix it well, and dry them as above. Then drop it on glazed paper, and dry it as before directed. Box them up, and keep them for use. To make jumbles. Infuse an ounce of gum arabic. Put to it a large wineglass of orange flower water, the same quantity of rose water, and let them stand 24 hours. Then take the whites of 3 fresh eggs, with 1.5 pounds of double refined sugar sifted. Beat them to a stiffness. Then take the gum, which must be as thick as clear boiled starch. Beat it with the eggs. Blanch and beat 2 ounces of Jordan almonds, with a spoonful of rose water, and the above ingredients all to a fine paste. Then roll it into balls and flatten them a little. Lay them on glazed paper and wires, and set them in an oven to bake. When they are enough, keep them for use. To make currant paste. Take 2 quarts of picked ripe red currants, and put them into jars. Cover them close and set them into an oven 2 hours. Then strain them through a flannel bag, and take 2 pounds of loaf sugar. Wet it in water and boil it to a candy height. Then put to it a pint of the currant juice, but don't let it boil after it is in. Stir it well together, and put it into an earthen mug till the next day. Then drop it in little cakes on wafer paper, and dry it in the sun, or in a very cool oven. Marmalade of orange. Boil 12 thin-skinned Seville oranges, that is fresh, 3 times, removing them out of the boiling pot each time, till they are so tender that a straw will run through them. Then take them out, and to every pound of oranges take 2 pounds of double refined sugar. To every pound of sugar add half a pint of water, and boil it in a clean brass pan on a clear stove. In the meantime, cut each orange, and take out the insides. Take care of the juice and meat, and seeds. Cut the orange skins into very thin slices, and put into the boiling sugar. Let it boil till the skins are clear. Keep stirring it. Then put all the insides into the marmalade, and boil it till it begins to spark and fly. But be sure to keep it stirring all the time. So put it into glasses or jelly pots, laying white paper over it dipped in brandy, and tie over it bladders. Then keep it for use. To preserve oranges whole. Take 6 of the beautifulest large Seville oranges to be got, and lay them in salt and water 3 days. Then boil them in water, and shift them as above. And when they are so tender that a straw will run through them, take them out and cut a round piece off each top of the oranges, not to exceed the breadth of a shilling. and with a teaspoon take out all the seeds, but none of the meat. Then take 6 pounds of double refined sugar, put to it 2 quarts of water, and boil it 10 minutes. Set each orange on its end in a flat-bottomed pot, and put within them the round piece you cut out. Then pour upon them the boiling syrup, and lay a delf plate over to keep them down. Thus boil it once every day for 12 times. After, put each orange into a galley pot just fit for it, to be covered with syrup, and tie a bladder over each pot, so keep them for use. How to make orange chips. Take the fresh skin of Seville oranges, whose juice has been used for punch, and lay them in salt and water 3 days. Then boil them tender, shifting them as above, and take out all the strings of the insides. Put them into an earthen pot, make a syrup of common lump sugar, and boil it 3 times a week the first fortnight. Then let it stand a month longer, and take the skins out of the syrup and wash them in clear water. Turn them down on a sieve, and so dry them in a slow oven. Then cut them into chips, and according to the quantity, if 3 pounds of chips, 2 pounds of sugar. Wet it with water and boil it candy height. Then put in your chips and let them boil. Dip a slice into the syrup and blow it through. If it flies like snow, you must take them out and spread them on an earthen dish to cool. So keep them for use. Red marmalade of quinces. Red marmalade of quinces. Pare, core, and slice your quinces, and to every pound of quinces take 1.5 pounds of loaf sugar, and to each pound of sugar a gill of water. Set them on a stove in a clean pan, and heat all together slowly till it comes to a red color. Then sharpen the fire, boil it to a stiff jelly, and pot it for use. Red marmalade of quinces. Pare, core, and slice your quinces, and to every pound of quinces take 1.5 pounds of loaf sugar, and to each pound of sugar a gill of water. Set them on a stove in a clean pan, and heat all together slowly till it comes to a red color. Then sharpen the fire, boil it to a stiff jelly, and pot it for use. To make white marmalade of quinces. Pare and quarter your quinces, and have ready a pan. To every pound of quinces, take 1.5 pounds of double refined sugar, wet with fair water. Put your sliced quinces into boiling water, and boil the sugar candy height. When the quinces are tender, drain the water from them through a hair sieve. Put it into the sugar, and let all boil till the quinces be clear. Then put it into pots or glasses for use. To make raspberry cakes. To every pound of raspberries, take 1 pound of double refined sugar. Mix and put into a preserving pan. Boil it on a clear stove. Keep it stirring all the time. Let it boil till it is a thick, strong stiffness, and set it by till it is cold. Then make it into little cakes, lay them on a paper to dry, and keep them for use. To dry red currants in strops. Pick out all the seeds of the currants on the stalks. Boil loaf sugar candy height, and put in your currants. Boil and take them out stalk by stalk, and lay them on a large stone dish separate to cool. Dust grated double refined sugar, and turn them every day till they are dry. So box them up for use. To make gingerbread. Take 4 pounds of treacle into a pan, and set it on a clear fire till it is scalding hot. Then stir into it 1/2 pound of sweet butter and a gill of brandy, and pour it into a bowl. Add to it 2 ounces of beet ginger, the same quantity of powdered Jamaica pepper, 1 ounce of coriander seeds, the same of caraway seeds, all well beat, and beat 4 pounds of flour into it very well. When the lumps are very well beat out, cut 1/2 pound of lemon peel into long pieces, grease a large cake pan with butter, and divide it into 4 loaves. laying the fourth part of the lemon peel on each layer. It will take 6 hours baking. The Cordial Hunter's Gingerbread. Take 3 pints of red port and 4 pounds of loaf sugar. Boil them in a broad brass pan. Let it boil till it is a syrup, and take it off the fire. Add to it a pint of brandy, cinnamon, race ginger, mace, cloves, and nutmeg, of each half an ounce finely beat to a powder. Grated man-shot bread dried in an oven or before the fire 4 pounds. 3 of which put to the above ingredients, and boil it till it is thick. Then let it cool. Work up the other pound of dry grated bread, and make it into various shapes, as prints, small rolls, and little cakes. Lay it on white paper to dry, and keep it for use. A small piece of this is a dram in the morning.